All right, let's dive right into this explainer and unpack what is literally the ultimate fitness debate. Does the clock actually dictate your workout results? Let's get into the scientific showdown between morning and evening exercise.
So, when is the absolute best time to work out? I mean, it's a question every single focused fitness enthusiast is asked at some point, right? We all want to optimize our time. But as we're going to see today, the answer goes way beyond just whenever you have time. It's actually deeply rooted in biology, hormones, and behavioral psychology.
Basically, we're pitting two very distinct camps against each other. On one side, you've got the morning larks, championing that fat-burning, super consistent rise and grind routine. And on the flip side, we have the night owls, totally advocating for the peak performance, stress-relieving evening session. Now today, we aren't relying on gym bro myths, okay? We're going to look at what the clinical data and the research actually say.
Here's our map for today's explainer. We'll hit the workout timing debate, the case for mornings, the power of evenings, the impact on sleep and sugar, the psychology of habits, and wrap up with consistency over clocks. Let's get into it. Starting with the workout timing debate, let's actually look at how our bodies interpret time itself.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is that your circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour clock, heavily influences your exercise performance. Your body is definitely not a static machine. Throughout a 24-hour cycle, key variables like your testosterone, cortisol, and your core body temperature fluctuate wildly. This means your body is chemically and physically a completely different machine at 6 a.m. compared to 6 p.m. Moving on to the case for mornings, let's look at why so many people absolutely swear by that dawn alarm. A massive reason for this is the concept of fasted cardio. Think about it. Because you've been sleeping, your liver's carbohydrate stores are pretty much totally depleted. So exercising before breakfast essentially forces your body to look elsewhere for energy. And guess what? That can boost fat burning by up to 20%. For weight loss goals, I mean, that sounds like a total game changer, right?
But wait, morning workouts do come with a pretty massive yes but. Yes, they burn more fat and they ensure consistency because, the chaos of your day hasn't gotten in the way yet. But here is the catch. If your carbohydrate stores are too low, your body releases cortisol. That's a stress hormone. And if you don't properly fuel with a quick carb and protein snack, that elevated cortisol can actually break down your hard-earned muscle tissue to use for fuel. Plus, paradoxically, it can even suppress your metabolism later in the day. Yikes.
Okay, shifting gears to the power of evenings, let's examine why the PM hours might actually be your optimal window.
Evening workouts really shine because of your biology. In the late afternoon and early evening, your oxygen uptake kinetics are highly favorable. Plus, your core body temperature has officially peaked, which makes your muscles and joints way more pliable. To put it simply, your body is literally primed for high-intensity interval training or heavy weightlifting. You just have more power and a significantly lower risk of injury. Now, looking at the impact on sleep and sugar. At this point, we really need to look beyond just muscles and fat and see how timing dictates two other vital health metrics. Let's start with sleep. Data from nearly 15,000 Whoop activity tracker users revealed a pretty striking number. You can lose up to a staggering 43 minutes of total sleep time if you do high-strain exercise too close to bedtime. That is huge! Let's look at how this builds as the evening gets later. If you finish a workout 6 hours before bed, you're golden, zero measurable impact. But at 4 hours, your overnight recovery starts to drop. At 2 hours, you're delaying your sleep by over half an hour. Why does this happen? Well, intense evening exercise spikes your heart rate and keeps your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response, way too revved up to rest. Your core temperature stays high, which literally blocks the release of melatonin. So, evenings look pretty bad for sleep, right? But here is the major plot twist. A recent 2024 study on 186 overweight or obese adults presents a wildly fascinating counterargument for evening workouts, specifically when we talk about metabolic health. The researchers tracked participants using continuous glucose monitors, and they found that those who did the majority of their activity in the evening, so between 6 p.m. and midnight, saw the absolute best results. If you're managing type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, concentrating your activity in that evening window significantly outperformed morning or afternoon sessions for stabilizing both your overall daytime and nighttime blood sugar. It's truly incredible. Moving into the psychology of habits. If the physiological data is totally split like this, how do we actually choose? Well, human behavior operates on the classic habit loop: cue, routine, reward. But here's the real insight. Science tells us it takes an average of 66 days to automate a habit. The secret isn't just sheer willpower. It's relying on environmental cues, like, say, placing your gym bag right by the door and letting neuroplasticity physically rewire your brain to make that routine automatic.
And this brings us to a genuinely brilliant study that looked at whether humans are naturally more consistent in the morning or the evening. Researchers used electronic pill bottles with smart caps that recorded the exact time patients took their daily medication. This gave us hard, objective data on routine adherence.
The data here is incredibly telling. Over the course of the study, participants averaged 3.96 missed doses for their morning routine, but a whopping 5.27 missed doses for their evening routine. So even though evenings might offer physical performance peaks, the early morning hours almost always provide a more stable, disruption-free environment for actually executing a habit day in and day out.
Finally, consistency over clocks. Let's synthesize all of this conflicting data into one highly actionable strategy for your daily life.
The magic number here is 150. The American Diabetes Association, and honestly many other major health institutions, recommend 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity each week, and the absolute golden rule of fitness is that actually getting those 150 minutes in always trumps what time it is on the clock.
So here is the ultimate breakdown for you. Whether you want morning habit consistency, a midday boost for longevity, or evening strength and blood sugar control, the choice is yours. You just need to align your timing with your specific personal goal. And honestly, more importantly, align it with a schedule you can realistically stick to without life constantly getting in the way.
As the Mayo Clinic perfectly summarizes here, consistency is what matters most. Any exercise is always better than no exercise. If an afternoon walk is literally all you can manage today, just do it. Your muscles won't really know the difference regarding the time, but your neuroplasticity will absolutely thank you. Regular repetition is what actually rewires your brain for long-term health success. So, I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought as we wrap up this explainer. Instead of sitting around waiting for a magical burst of motivation, what exact physical cue can you engineer in your environment tonight to completely guarantee you'll get moving tomorrow? Really think about it. Set that cue up right now and go get those 150 minutes. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you on the next one.